seen from Andrew early in camp after he closed last season so strong? And what do you hope to see him kind of keep building off that this year?
Well, he's always very consistent, and first 3 days have been no different. He's in great shape. He's playing physical, making reads, taking the challenge defensively, and he's become a quiet leader on our starting group. So a lot of good things.
Have you noticed anything different about his disposition or the way he approaches things after his Canada experience this summer?
When guys like him get to their third, fourth year and have a national team experience and have success, there's just more of an unspoken confidence that they get, and I see it. But really, truthfully, he's always been a pretty confident guy.
Remember you talked last year when I think you moved in the starting lineup, you said it just makes our ecosystem a lot better. Obviously, you got TJ more minutes and everything. But how much does his versatility as a way to play the 1 and the 2, defend the different positions he can play, and his willingness to change rules? I mean, how much does that kind of connect all the strings for you?
Well, he can guard any position, really. He can even guard center because he'll get in there and hit those guys and block them out. So if you have a switching team in there, there are no issues really. There's times when he's guarded some of the really good big men in the league. He's guarded Giannis some. He's guarded Kawhi Leonard and those guys that are taller. Look, versatility is such an important part of today's game that guys like Andrew are extremely valuable.
The willingness he has, but I think I talked to his dad this summer, and he was talking about he was kind of coached up this way to be willing to do whatever, like even though he's a point guard by trade, he's had different scenarios where he's had to find different ways on the court. Is that experience?
Yeah, I mean he's so low maintenance that you've got to remind yourself that you need to let him know how much you appreciate his team first approach, so and that's something that I remind myself to do a lot. What's the other question?
That was basically that he's been coached into this situation. I mean, like the way he was brought up, he was always playing kind of 2 years ahead. He's constantly been in positions that he was pushed to not be the guy and be in positions where he had to figure out his way against a lot of talented players, whether it was Gonzaga, whether it was Mark Bird.
I mean,
you kind of see that.
Yeah, he's really one of the ultimate hybrid type players because I mean he could be a starting point guard for us, and if Ty misses a game, he will be.
Yes.
But he also knows how to play the 2, and he can play the 3, and he can guard all those other positions.
As a coach, how great was it to see him re-up for 3 more years to get that extension done? I mean, looking forward to what this team's going to look like. How nice was it when you got him?
I was rooting for it
Yeah.
to happen.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And he really deserves every bit of it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that I know you had some health stuff you wanted to change the schedule for. Do you feel like everybody came out of yesterday better than the way you wanted?
Yeah, Isaiah is going to be limited for a few days. Furphy's going to be limited for at least a few days. Wiseman is doing more and more and participated in some of the half-court contact stuff today. So he's doing well, and he's actually going to talk to you guys today, which will be good. I think that's it. Who else am I missing? Who else? Yeah, those are the 3 guys. And so, today we had a lineup with the blue team where Obi was playing 5. Jarrett's 4, Mathrid 3, Shep 2, and TJ. And it was a good team. We had a very competitive day, very good day today.
I was going to ask you about Isaiah. I mean, I don't know if he's been dinged up in the course of camp, but what have you liked about where have you seen his game develop, in the offseason? I know he was talking about working with Jenny a lot on his jumper. Have you seen progress there, and how else have you seen his game grow?
His shooting is on the come. I mean, it's getting better. He's a great worker. His conditioning and endurance is better and better each year. And look, he's our backup center. You know, if something happened and Miles missed a game, he'd start. And so he's really important to us. I like the way that he's learned things, you know, over his first 3 years. You know, he just stays at it. He's a persistent guy, and he's gotten way better defensively in terms of reading the game, and then offensively, his ability to play in the flow movement game is really special.
Did someone disrupt the one-on-one finalists today that we've seen the first 2 days?
We had a different structure of practice today. It was more team-oriented stuff, but it was very good today, and you know, we're going to look for the same thing tomorrow.
Is there anything specific you can already feel or that you've noticed about yourself that has changed from that for the better? Maybe your approach to just anything?
It's a tough one. I think the whole process of having more basketball, more competition this summer allowed me to get more reps, get better, keep me kind of in rhythm. So I didn't really have much time to lose my rhythm. I kind of felt like I've just always been playing all summer, so I guess this will help.
I know you know a lot of those guys well from prior stops. Is there anybody you latched on to or hung out with a lot in that experience on that team?
Hung out with all those guys. I knew a lot of them from different places growing up. RJ, obviously, really close going to high school with him, so it was nice giving back to playing with him. All those guys, though. A lot of the old guys, Kelly, Kim, White, everybody.
Closing last season the way you did, do you like that you're just going from thing to thing, kept playing throughout the summer, can keep that momentum now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about my game. I love hooping. I love competing. I love being on the court and going against guys, so definitely love hooping.
Were you in France area or Paris when you got the call about extension possibilities happening?
Yeah, I was in the Village, actually. We just got to the Village. I don't think we played yet, and that's when the deal was made, basically.
I think Ty was saying that because you guys have so much continuity back, so many guys back, you guys were able to start sort of further along as far as schematics, especially on defense, coming into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it that way as well? And what do you feel like kind of bringing all these guys back? How do you think it allows you to kind of start with a foundation defensively?
Yeah, I think we've got those reps already, so we've understood what works, what doesn't work. We've got a base for what we like to do, and now we're just trying to add to it and see the little detail, find things that we can get better to make our overall, I guess, rating on that side of the floor better.
What do you feel like I think we asked you this already, but how does that allow you to take next steps, basically? What do you feel like, because you have the kind of knowledge, how can that make you guys better? What are the areas that you can kind of
Yeah, I think when you're first figuring stuff out and trying to learn new things on the court, you're thinking so much and you're trying to get it right. I think when you have it down, it's kind of just muscle memory, and now you could think about other stuff, so maybe it's being a little bit ahead to make a play on something. So just the more reps gives you more freedom out there to think about other things.
So last year, did you think about your, dealing with kidney stones at training camp? How much that impacted your start of the season, and what can being healthy this time? How can that change things?
I mean, it's always better to be healthy and have those reps in training camp. I think it's going to be a smoother transition this year. I can't really tell, to be honest, with that one. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Anyone impressing you on this team this year so far? They're too cleared out for you to just see them.
Nah. I mean, a lot of guys are looking good. A lot of guys are looking more comfortable than last year. I like TJ McConnell. Good guy.
Fan jam on Sunday. You've been through that a couple times now, but just your thoughts on getting to have a competitive scrimmage this early in camp, but also get in front of the fans and interact with them.
It'll be fun. I'm excited to go compete, play, just get up and down, have a little reps, and have fun with it. Whatever team I'm on is probably going to win, so just excited.
You guys, obviously, in playoffs in particular, spend a lot of time picking up 94 feet, basically, just defending guys full court. Obviously, it's different to try to do that over 82 games. To what degree, what kind of weapon can that be for you guys? And how do you think? I imagine it's something that you can't do all game, every game for the whole year, but how do you think you guys can deploy that?
I think we could. I think we have the depth to do it for long periods of time, all the season. I think it wears on teams. It gets their star players a little bit frustrated at times. It just gives them an extra gear they got to get to work to get to their spots and feel comfortable out there. So I think with our depth, it's a good tool for us to speed the game up and big teams play at our pace.
Think Furphy will be a good singer?
Who's that?
Think Furphy will be a good singer?
Yeah. I think something about the Australian, but we'll see. We'll see how he goes. I think Tristan Newton's going to be really good. We'll see, though.
What made this the right place for you, basically? Like, what role were you thinking going into free agency, and what made the Pacers the right fit?
Yeah, so I really just want to come here and just develop. I mean, this team is already developed. They had a great team last year, so just coming in, just adding to it. I mean, just like being valuable in terms of me running the floor, I'm blocking shots, just doing all the simple things. That's it.
What do you view as sort of lessons learned in your first 2 spots? I mean, I imagine it didn't go as well as you wanted. That's not to say you didn't accomplish anything in those places, but what do you look back and say, man, this didn't go right, and what do you look back and say, okay, these are things I can build on?
This might sound crazy, but actually all the setbacks really made me stronger as a person. It built on my character a lot as a person, and also made me mentally stronger. But what I say is just really just be more of a shark in terms of this business and everything, and just be more assertive and be more of a dog in terms of myself on the court. And really just whatever I can do. Again, this Pace team is really great, but just coming here and just adding to it, and just whatever I got to do to be on the floor to earn that, I'll do anything for that. And I'm gonna work my tail off every day. I'm gonna work my ass off every day. Just keep going.
Does it feel like there's less pressure now? I mean, I guess when you go away from the team that drafted you and you're on your kind of 3rd spot, obviously on a veteran minimum deal, do you feel like that removes a lot of the expectation that comes with being the number 2 pick?
Yes, sir. It definitely do. But really, again, like I said, just coming in, just developing. Because the last 2 years, first, especially in Golden State, I was injured, so I was out for 2 years. I was out for a while. So just being able to come here and just develop and just try to be the best basketball player that I can be.
When you think about development, have you already noticed anything here that is different in that way, or that feel like you made some of these other players develop faster than they were in other spots?
Yeah, really just the simple things, just the small details. Me and Coach Jim, we practice on it every day. Just being up to touch, being able to not gather so much in my blocking, but just actually go up, because I already got the athleticism, so I'm not trying to gather and just waste time. Just focusing more on my reaction time and just me blocking shots and just trying to get everything back.
We heard about this trip to Dallas, you, Isaiah, and Miles. What was that like for you? How much did you even learn from them about this team and experience?
Man, it was fun. One thing I learned was just conditioning. Being able to be in the greatest shape, because in Indiana, everybody is in great shape. So just being able to come here, be in great shape, and just play hard.
How is the grind, and how have you been progressing this week with that?
Really just taking one day at a time, just trying to learn. It's my first week being here, so just trying to take everything in, trying to learn the plays and everything. So just been studying plays and just been putting one foot in front of the other.
You talked about being told about the condition. I mean, did you get a head start in that regard? I mean, when you came back from there, did you dial it up a notch? And I guess to what degree do you feel like, obviously the groin's holding you back a little bit, but from a conditioning standpoint, do you think you got a lot done, and do you feel like you're in some of the best shape you've been in?
My groin is actually great. I've been ramping up this past weekend, so I'm just happy to be back on the court and just be competing, because that's what I love to do. I love to compete, so just go out there and having fun, just playing ball.
How do you think the pace just fits you? I mean, how do you think just the up and down plays to your game?
I mean, I'm already a big that can run the floor, that's mobile, so just with their fast-paced offense, so I can be able to fit in really well. But just being able to do the small detail things, being able to be up to touch, talking on defense, just bringing my personality to the game in terms of the defensive side, and just being able to just be an anchor.
What inspired you to start doing YouTube videos that you do, and have you really enjoyed that since you started doing it?
Man, I really enjoy it. That's something I do on my off time, just being able to give people knowledge and just information, and just to just uplift people out here. So.
Did anyone push you to do that, or was that your own kind of you wanted to do it?
I did it myself, yeah.
One thing a couple of guys said, I know Tyrese definitely said, is that defensively, you guys can start kind of further along. The fact that you guys kind of installed that system last year, you can kind of start kind of on the next chapter, and building on it this year. I mean, is that something you notice, and what do you think that does for you guys, just having a foundation and be able to kind of take next steps?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's less teaching. We've moved through things quicker in training camp so far. I think it's going to help us to begin the season. We picked up our defense post All-Star break last year, and with us retaining most of the guys, we were able to take that momentum we had at the end of last year and hopefully carry that to begin the season.
What was kind of the hardest thing for you guys to get used to systematically? I mean, obviously, you had to just turn up pressure and force and everything like that, but you guys, had a different kind of philosophy on defense last year. What was the toughest part of that to get used to, and where are you further along with that?
I'd say making the reads of, no overhelp.
Right.
I thought we overhelped a little bit too much. Sometimes we gave corner threes, and then sometimes we just didn't help at all and gave a bunch of layups. So it's finding that happy medium of knowing when to help and, when to stay home.
Did you guys adjust that a lot during the course of the year, just to say, okay, we're trying too much to do 2-on-2 now, we got to bring this guy in. Okay, well, maybe we went too far with that. Did you have to tweak a lot?
I think it's just effort and knowing who you're playing with. Knowing guys' strengths, their weaknesses, know who needs a little bit more help at times, and know who doesn't need a little bit more help. So I think it all comes with playing with each other and getting a good feel about how we are, on the defensive end.
Is it kind of also knowing who not to leave?
Exactly, and knowing who not to leave, knowing your scouting report, know who's in the game, who's going to have the ball the most, who creates the most, those kind of things.
What are you hoping to be better at this year after the year you just had where a lot of stuff kind of started clicking?
Talking about the team or individually? Individually, working on my ball handling, working on making the right reads, right plays, while continuing, to do the things that I've done well at a high level. So continue to guard the best player, continue to work on fouling less, and then, working on my condition and making sure I can do that for 40 minutes.
Having the season you had last year where a lot of it didn't kind of fall into place, does that change how you approach trying to get better or what you try to focus on?
You learn. I learned what I was, from my first year here when I really played. I learned from that season, took that to the next. So continue to learn based on what I did last season in the playoffs and the regular season, learn what I needed to do, took that in the summer. Now it's time to translate that to the season.
James in your draft class, what stood out to you about him so far?
I guess, we just love the 2020 draft class around here. Yeah. He's good. He's long. He can jump. He swallows up everything at the rim. He's going to help us a lot on the defensive and offensive side of the ball.
How much does I know we talked about this a little before, but how much does Andrew kind of make all the pieces for this group? Obviously, he's a natural point guard, but willing to play the two, willing to defend all kinds of positions, change offensive roles on the fly. How much does that kind of connect all the pieces for you?
He's a plug and play guy. Like you said, he kind of just he figures it out. He knows how to get to his spots, where to get to his spots, where guys are going to be. And when you have that kind of player offensively, it's easy to kind of just plug him in anywhere, and he makes it work. He makes guys better. And defensively, he's going to do what he does. You need him on that side of the floor. He's gonna guard the best ball handler and make your life, hell.
Fan Gym on Sunday. You're excited to have the opportunity to get in front of the fans and also have a competitive scrimmage?
Yeah, I heard it sold out, so it'll be fun. I know last year was fun. I'm ready to see what songs the rookies got to sing, so that'll be good.
You got any predictions for the rookie show?
I don't. That's MT's thing, so we'll let him handle that.
I'm maybe bummed for you not going to Nashville after the Vandy experience. But what was Orlando like? What did you feel like that was?
It was fun.
Especially compared to last
year.
year.
Yeah, it was fun. We needed it. I thought the Orlando week and the week leading into training camp, a lot of the guys were here for that week as well. So I thought those 2 weeks of us playing and just getting together and being together was helpful, and it's made training camp real fluid and easy.
How much different did it feel than Nashville, just because it was the same team basically? Because so much continuity with this year.
It was easy, like I said. It's easy. It was a short summer for us, so it kind of felt like we're right back to it. And like I said, it was just easy to kind of fall right back.
What did you think of Pascal's house?
Huh?
What did you think of Pascal's house?
It's a nice house. Yeah. It's a nice
gym?
house and a full gym.
I think Rick said you guys could have held training camp there. It would have been just fine.
Yeah, we could have easily. Yeah.
Did you see a different side of Pascal there? Have you seen him evolve and change and become, I guess,
I thought he did a good job last year of being vocal. He kind of came in, as the vocal leader. He helped us in the playoffs because he's been there before. He knows what it takes. So he's continuing to have that voice and speaking up, and it's only going to help us.